Hello and welcome back to the PNY Pro podcast. My name is Jerome and I'm here with Derek.
Hello, everyone.
And we have another great episode lined up for you today. We have the Executive Vice President of Sourcecode, Eric Sindelar. How's it going, Eric?
Doing great, Jerome. Great to be here.
Nice. So, Eric, can you tell me a little bit more about your background in getting into source code?
Sure. Have a bachelor's and master's in computer engineering from Purdue. Go Boilers.
Okay.
And I also spent 18 years at Intel, a lot of it around CPU design, and then spent 7.5 years at Supermicro. And I've been now here at Sourcecode for 2.5 years.
Yeah, so Eric, yes, it's great to have you back on. I know a few months back we were able to do the virtual event with Source Code, which was great. Had a good turnout, and I'm excited to have you on another episode here. So in terms of Source Code, can you discuss some of your offerings from workstations to data center racks?
Sure. So, Sourcecode was founded in 1992 with a vision to, revolutionize the digital infrastructure landscape. If you look at the different companies that we've acquired under the Sourcecode umbrella throughout the years, it really allows us to kind of support anything from device to data center. We're probably most known for our ThinkMate website, which allows you to customize and purchase at a B2B level, basically any server storage or solution that you're looking for. We added a lot of engineering with our Silicon Mechanics acquisition, and then we've even added a lot of future expansion in Europe and Middle East and India through our acquisition of Boston, based in the UK. So if you look at the breadth of our product offering, we can support anything from a small custom device, a workstation, to a complete rack of systems, or just a server storage to help run your small or medium business or enterprise. So what we like to say is it's device to data center. We have everything in between.
That sounds great. So can you highlight some of the specific AI focuses that source code integrates?
Sure. So, one of the strengths of Sourcecode is that we are vendor agnostic and vendor neutral. So we can support multiple vendors. We provide all of their AI solutions. Obviously, we lead with NVIDIA GPU cards such as H100 or the L40S. So we have a very broad product portfolio. We allow you to customize your exact solution tailored for your specific AI needs. And then we also allow the test drive program. So right now we have the L40S test drive program and H100 test drive, which we allow you to log in and, test your code on an existing system in our lab. And, before you buy, you can help tweak the configuration. Of course, we always provide an expert to help you along that journey, making sure that we can bring the experience we have with other customers, but yet also work with you to do a co-design such that the solution really is aligned to your specific needs.
No, that's all great, Eric. And as mentioned before, we did our virtual event a few months back, and we really spoke about military and defense. So how does source code play a role within that environment?
So one of the divisions that Sourcecode acquired was a company called Comarch, and Comarch has a plethora of experience in supporting the U.S. Navy. We are on every ship in the Navy except the U.S. Constitution, which is the old wooden ship that's based in Boston. So we have a lot of experience in working with the Navy and ruggedizing solutions. One of the things we built was a product we refer to as Argos, which is a full mil-spec, completely sealed unit that actually has an NVIDIA GPU. It was developed with the A100 because it has a complete custom cooling solution. So if you think about the fact that it's completely sealed so no water or dust can get inside, you have to do some pretty interesting things on the cooling solution to dissipate the heat. So that was one of the specific products we designed for that space. We also have partnered with one of our friends, Trenton Systems, to do a more of a standard 1U, 2U conformal coated mil-spec product with the short depth that it will take a full NVIDIA H100 and obviously follow-on products as well. And then, special hint, we have a product what we refer to as Griff, which is a full rollerboard CDI cluster that in the form factor looks like a rollerboard suitcase, and it will take a full GPU card in it as well. So we've been really developing some very specific products through our Comark division and our partners targeted to really deploy the latest and greatest GPU cards into the military and defense space.
How do the cooling systems work on systems like the Argos?
Well, Argos was designed for a very specific use case to be mounted to an FMV, which is the follow-on to Humvees, and driven out into the theater, military theater. So in that case, you can't get any dust or water inside, so it's completely sealed. Then you have to use the laws of physics to how to do heat pipes and heat transfer to get the heat out. And it's a pretty interesting engineering feat. When you can actually use air to cool the system, you can do some other special things. And that's what we've done with our standard ruggedized 1U and 2U products, as well as our future product Griff. So would love to, have you go to our website and check out some of the details on it. But I always say that you can't escape the laws of physics. So when you don't have air moving through the box, you have to do some pretty interesting custom cooling solutions. So that's why we have 3 different solutions planned. Only one is completely sealed. And like I said, if that is your specific need, we have that product, but you have to still deal with dissipating all the heat that the GPU and the rest of the system will create.
You mentioned the H100, and how do you see the new L40S? Because you mentioned new, just NVIDIA GPU solutions. So with that being like the latest and greatest in the sense of GPUs and offerings, like how do you see that play an effect in like a solution like that, or even just within, your clients through source code?
Well, L40S is obviously much more available than the H100, so availability is a big deal. And whether you're doing training or inferencing is important. L40S is much more targeted inferencing, but most of these military type solutions or, quite frankly, commercial solutions, it's more about the inferencing, not the training. So L40S is a great product for that, and its availability is, pretty favorable with respect to the H100. It just depends on what your application is and what you're trying to accomplish. In the custom solution where we had to do the custom cooling, that's still designed with A100. But we're looking at doing an H100 version as if there's a customer that really needs that extra performance. So far, we've seen when people are in that rugged environment, the A100's plenty as far as performance, but we all know in this industry that the performance needs just keep growing and growing.
One of the things I actually wanted to ask about was StrataLaunch. Can you get a little bit into that?
Yeah, StrataLaunch is a very interesting company in Southern California. They do hypersonic testing. If you think of, there's been a lot of talk about hypersonic missiles, over the last few years and against our adversaries. They actually have this really interesting specific plane that can go up and do the hypersonic testing in the air, but you always want to do simulation as much as possible because it's expensive. And when you're flying that plane around, I'd tell you to go check out their website. It's a really interesting looking plane. But they were, looking a way to be cost effectively doing those simulations in-house. It was far too expensive to do it in the cloud, and we were able to show that if we built a small cluster for them to do in-house training and simulation, that they could actually get a payback for their investment in about 9 months versus going to the cloud. So, and then they'd obviously save money once they got that initial payback. So we worked very closely with StrataLaunch. Did about a 2-rack cluster that really suited their needs and saved them a lot of money. And obviously, they don't have the latency issues as far as going up and running these simulations in the cloud. So that we would really view that as one of our, great success cases as far as working on co-design and engineering the solution with them to meet their custom needs.
Yeah, I think that's really cool because even when it comes to simulation, I feel like that's where, again, a lot of the industry is going because you can save so much more money and so much more time by being able to simulate these specific types of things before using all that money into that specific project.
Yeah, and they kind of go into that same realm of things. Like you mentioned earlier, you have a full enclosed, just a box that's going inside of a Humvee, but now simulation also is that something that source code kind of feeds to that market because nowadays you hear AR and VR
Mhm.
and everything like that, and yeah, you want to be able to train your troops or something like that in a controlled environment versus sending them out somewhere. So that's something that source code can contribute to in more of that virtual AR reality to help train troops and just train anyone in general.
Absolutely. We can provide a custom solution to pretty much any application you're looking to implement. And I wouldn't say that we've done a lot in that space just because those type of solutions, especially in the military space, are tied to large RFPs, but putting the infrastructure in place that allows the simulation to happen, absolutely. And that's one of the things that our engineers, our tagline from our silicon mechanics company that we acquired was expert included, and we really believe that. It's kind of like the geek squad that Best Buy would provide. We provide an expert to help you really do the code, help us come up with a co-design solution that meets your exact needs. We're the experts in putting the solution together, and we've done a lot with a broad range of customers, but we always need to work with the engineers of the end customer because their needs are always a little bit different, and we want to tailor that solution to the exact needs of the customer.
Well, Eric, all of that is great information, and we want to thank you again from PNY to have source code and you on the episode of the podcast. We had a lot of valuable information here.
Right.
So thank you so much for joining us. As you mentioned, source code's link, everything will be down below in the description. So definitely go down there, click it, check it out. They have a really great webpage and a lot of solutions, and pretty much everything that we discussed you can find on there as well. So,
Right.
Eric, we just want to say thank you again for hopping on the episode with us.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate the time. And, PNY has been a wonderful partner with Source Code. So we look to continue this, over the next decade. So thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds great.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see, plan another future podcast episode with you and team. All right.
Right.
Thanks again, Eric. PNY is very grateful to have your partnership. So, Jerome, tell everybody, where can they find us?
Yeah, so you can find us at PNY Pro on all social media accounts on your favorite podcast platforms.
All right. Well, thanks again, Eric. We appreciate you and Source Code's time, and we'll see you all on the next episode.
Take care.
Thanks, guys.